game yesterday. First of all, it was a terrible game.
Right, yeah.
Second, desperate if a game ever needed a goal. That was it, wasn't it?
But terrible game. I love everyone's like just boring game. It was horrible. It wasn't. It was enthralling. It was a chess match. It was for me. It was for football purists. But anyway,
and it was a 0-0 all day until an incredibly fluky goal, a fluky winner that the keeper would definitely have saved, hits Ake and it goes in. And suddenly it's all reinvention, and this has been great planning and this, that, and the other. You know, it was a 0-0. That's
the hatred. I've been saying this before. You know, although look, I'm a Man United fan, and it was, well, you're meant to banter, you're not meant to praise rivals. It's just boring. It's boring because this will be used against my team. In fact, it has been this weekend. We scored for the first time in our history 2 goals in injury time to win a match, and we're told we shouldn't even celebrate. But never heard that before. Listen to this. Were Arsenal lucky? Not on your Nelly. They were the better team. They had the majority of the chances. They were the first team in 13 years to reduce City to just 4 attempts on goal in the game. It was an approach to not over-attack, to not leave themselves exposed at the back, because that's what teams do so often against City and get beat. They nullified City's attack to nothing, and they deservedly got the winner at the end. But you see here, I keep telling people the hatred for Arsenal is real. And the only reason I don't join in with it is because if you perpetuate it, me as a Man United fan, they'll use the same tactic against my team if we're better in the future. And we've seen that with the over-celebrating stuff. We know it's there. Madness.
what it was, you know, and it turned into
Well,
a 1-0.
I've had a look at. I didn't see the game. I've come on to why in a minute. I had to catch up with highlights yesterday, but
So don't give an opinion on it then, mate.
I mean, it was 1-0, Andy, because it definitely said so in the papers.
No, it was 1-0. Yeah, it was 1-0. But if you know what I mean, if it had been 0-0, nobody would have said anything, because that's what it was.
Yeah, but look, you can use that logic all the time. If Spurs, I do believe he's a Spurs fan. If Spurs wouldn't have scored a last-minute winner against Sheffield United, if there wasn't a deflected own goal against Liverpool, which they were praised for getting, they wouldn't have won that game, but they did. And you know I'm consistent because I said no. People were saying, some people said, Liverpool fans, Spurs shouldn't celebrate this. Of course they should. It is crazy, the changing of their tune when it comes to Arsenal Football Club. It's mad.
Oh my God! Well, beating the champions of the world. Yeah, correct.
Well done.
Well done. The champions
Well,
of the world.
Let me finish.
No, don't finish.
Okay.
I'll finish for you. Well done, Arsenal, beating the champions, the best team on the planet that won everything by the League Cup last year. Well done,
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
I was going to say, well done, Arsenal.
Yeah,
on beating
the best team in the world.
On beating a team
Best team in the
with
world.
arguably 2 of the best players in the Premier League missing. Well done.
Thank you.
Say that. Did he just say, yes, they had Rodri and KDB missing? I need to rewind that. I need to make sure that's exactly what he said.
In the
On
world.
beating a team
Best team in the
with
world.
arguably 2 of the best players in the Premier League missing.
No, God, please, no, no!
I can't believe he said it. I know they did. But Saka was out. Timber's been out for the whole season. And they did start the game with Partey and Martinelli on the bench. So let's not act like Arsenal went into this game with no injuries as well. And plus, this is Man City. I ain't buying this nonsense that 1 or 2 players can be missing from their team and they don't have anything to back it up with. Nonsense.
Scoring a deflected goal.
The deflected goal again.
What can only be described as one of the worst adverts for Premier League
Oh,
football.
another terrible advert for the Premier League. Yeah, of course. This is when the Premier League was in its pomp. Sort of 03 to 2003 up to about 2013, when every year you had 3 or 4 teams minimum that could win the Champions League from the Prem. Do you know how many games between Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal were like this? This is what happens when 2 teams of almost equal quality go against each other. Look, City have been amazing for a long time, but City and Liverpool for 5 years were so far ahead of everybody else. And then there was so much average kind of performances from the other members of the top 6 that the games are often hilarious. 3-1s, 5-0, 6-1s, 4-2s, because the quality wasn't there. This is what happens when high quality play each other.
I've ever seen.
I can understand that.
What
but
a
listen,
boring game. Well done,
Boring.
Arsenal confirming they're the second biggest side in North London.
Fair play to Spurs.
Top of the league now.
Got the job.
Look
Second
at the
now.
bitterness. Look at the bitterness. I get it. Man United and Arsenal have history. They are rivals. But you can just see, told you before, the fear people have of Arsenal it renders them stupid.
As I promise, like, and even it's been a weird these past few months.
Need manure. Nadim, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Doesn't matter if you lose against Arsenal, be all right in the end.
You would think so. I think obviously it felt like it was a big game yesterday, but lo and behold, like Arsenal win it, and credit to them for doing so. Takes the monkey off their back because it has been a very
Here comes the backhanded compliment.
long time since they've beaten City in the league, but they're still in second. You know, that's how undefinitive it is. Like it's eight.
See, this is you're going to push back, right? I get you, City, but again, the hatred's there. If Arsenal would have lost, it would have been called hugely definitive. If Arsenal wouldn't have won this game, it would have ended their chances of winning the Premier League. They win the match. They change their style. They nullify City. They win and suddenly means nothing. This is why I push back against this stuff. It isn't because I'm trying to farm views from Arsenal fans. It isn't because I'm a secret gooner in disguise. It's I want genuine punditry. And this isn't. This is fan talk from professionals. Now, I don't pay for ESPN, but millions of people do. Do you get where I'm coming from here? Like so many of these broadcasters we all pay for, either via subscriptions or one thing or another. You want to hear consistency. And it's nonsense. Spurs are being praised for being top of the league, and rightfully so. Arsenal beat Man City. They're joint top. They're actually 2 points better off than they were this time last year in terms of leading the title favourite City. They have a better defensive record. They're scoring similar amounts of goals, and they've had quite a lot of injury problems to contest with. And the fact that suddenly it's become this undefinitive game is crazy. And why am I sticking up for them? I'll tell you why. Because if Man United are ever in this position, I just want the credibility to be able to stand there and say exactly the same thing. This Arsenal hatred is absolutely hilarious.
Much better than Arsenal's. And I think if we can get to January, still in the title race, and we can sign a couple of players, defensive mid, centre back, then we're miles ahead of Arsenal.
Liverpool fan here, miles ahead of Arsenal. I don't think they're miles ahead of Arsenal, if they are ahead at all. Liverpool are a good team who I think can challenge this year. But imagine Arsenal beating Man City and Liverpool fans phoning up to say this. I told you. And people don't like me saying it, especially men. There's a lot of very insecure men who are like, I'm not scared. Why are people phoning up these airlines? Why are these pundits out here panicking? Boring game, didn't deserve to win, fluky, it's indecisive. Oh, Liverpool will get ahead of you. It's weird. Like, honestly, Arsenal and Man United are the only two teams who seem to unite every other rival together. Legitimately, every other rivalry comes together to poop on us. It's kind of weird. Is it because we're the face of the Premier League? Is that what it is? Is it because our rivalry defined the Premier League? I need to know, because it's honestly, it's crazy to me.
When we start doing well and we're flying, everyone's very quick to knock us down, Brian. Everyone wants to jump on the bandwagon. You're still Tottenham. You're still this. You're still that. You're bottle it. You'll do this. Everyone's obsessed with us. Everyone's obsessed with Tottenham.
Trust me, no one is, mate.
Everyone's obsessed with Tottenham.
Trust me, no one's obsessed with Spurs.
You are, mate.
No, it's not.
Everyone.
No.
Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool. Everyone's the same.
Yeah, but all those teams win things. You're the only team that doesn't win anything.
Yeah, but you're all obsessed
Arsenal
with Tottenham.
You don't win anything.
I'm getting sick of it, mate. Everyone's like Spurs.
No.
Yeah, but you're still Spurs.
Jay.
Arsenal last season, when they started at the start of the season, they were top after 8 games, right? Flying. Everyone's like, Arsenal can win the league. Arsenal.
Lies. Listen, I agree with Jamie that Spurs should be praised for where they are. But he's ruined himself there, Jamie, by lying. Arsenal weren't getting praise after 25 to 30 games being at the top. You were the biggest advocate of pushing the Arsenal hate. You were the guy that wrote off everything they did. And this is what I say to people. Listen, if you want to sit, and I know I've already had the comments 9 minutes, 40 seconds into this video. It's just banter, Terry. Don't tell people what is and isn't funny, what they can and can't do. I'm not. You can do what you want. My point is, though, you can't live in. This is what happens when you live in the world where all your punditry is basically banter, when everything is bitterness, everything is through fear and hatred when it comes to football, right? Is you see it given back to you when your team starts doing well, and then it triggers you. So break the cycle and just be honest. And do you know the banter era? The banter era has ruined banter for me in football because we banter teams even when they're doing well, and it becomes nauseating, milked, boring. Wait for things to go wrong, then you banter. And it's actually funny because they're actually having a problem. But we're bantering teams now, like Spurs, for being top of the league. It doesn't even make sense. I don't know. Maybe it's because I know jokes are now almost illegal in most countries around the world. Maybe it's because of that. People don't understand how real banter works. It's crazy. It's genuinely mad.
Managers constantly.
No, they've got to stick with Ten Hag.
So I think, but I don't think they will.
There's nowhere else to go.
I don't think they will, though, Darren. You know what it's like if Manchester United were to have lost to Brentford at the weekend, and then they lose again and again and again. The main focus is always on the manager. The players get away with it so much. The focus is on the Glazers. They need to go. No doubt about that. But I think some of the players have been getting away with really mediocre performances based upon the ownership.
Here's the thing. One of the first things that Postecoglou did when he went to Spurs, he just got rid of the dead wood. And the players...
Yeah, listen, I agree. I agree with what Leanne has said there. They should stick with the manager. They won't. They should find a way to make sure these players are dropping performances, know that their jobs are on the line more so than the manager. I think it would help the club. But what Darren just said there about Postecoglou got rid of the players at the dead wood. Ten Hag now, 2 summers and a January, has been trying to get rid of the dead wood. But the Glazers can't. They either can't find buyers or they charge too much money and you can't get rid of them. And that's where this whole Ten Hag in, Ten Hag out thing is so nuanced. And there's a lot of deadbeat United fans online who just focus on, like some people in politics, they're like one policy voters. They can ignore 20 things about you they dislike, but because one policy they agree with you on, they'll vote for you. I've always found that a strange concept. And you now have that in football. And I'm not surprised because how the people behave in their general life is typically how they'll view and talk about football, because human nature is human nature. And this is what we do. It's, I don't like the style of football, therefore I'm the manager out. And you'll ignore all the other elements. I don't like how he treated this one player that I love more than anybody else, therefore I want him out. And you ignore all the other issues. And that's our biggest problem. It's about looking at all the problems deeply. However, Leanne's right. I do believe her name's Leanne, by the way. If I got that wrong, I'm really sorry. Right, is that if we don't, the Glazers will typically go with what's the biggest and loudest noise, what's the most popular decision right now, as opposed to the right decision for the club. Now, listen, you lose 7 games in 11, you are going to end up being sacked. That's not me advocating for it, but it's just the facts of the matter. But she's right. What do you all think? By the way, thanks for tuning in today as well. Lots to talk about, lots of comments I want to get down below. Please make sure you're following our TikTok, scan that QR code, or, of course, click on our link in the description below. Take care, goodbye, God bless, and I'll see you all soon.